Well, a few years ago, I was involved in a mediation involving a Singapore company and a European company. They had gone into a joint venture. It was very lucrative. In fact, they had a license to an international event in Singapore. Very successful, very lucrative. But unfortunately, in the course of the work, there was a dispute, and one party terminated the contract. And that party went on to court to sue for damages. They came for mediation, and we had a one-day mediation. But the interesting thing was that the directors of the parties flew in. They were not involved in the dispute, the day-to-day dispute, but they flew in. And when they looked at the contract, they said, look, this is a lucrative contract. Why are we giving it up? And you know what we did that day? We sat down with their lawyers and we redrafted a new contract for another 3 years. It was a really good outcome for the parties. And in that contract, they created a clause. We said that the parties, the people who had been involved in the dispute, would be moved so that they would do backroom work. So it was a very good outcome for the parties. And with due respect to the courts, we were able to do something which the courts could not have done. We resurrected a contract, an agreement, and rewrote the terms. So it was fantastic. Well, I did my mediation training in 1996 with CEDA in the UK. And then in 2001, I did a course in Harvard with Professor Frank Sander. And Professor Sander, is one of the gurus of mediation in America. And so that was an amazing experience. But in the course of the last 15 years, I've been doing mediation training with different parties in different countries. We've done training in Dubai with the DIFC, in Bahrain with the BCDR, in the Philippines with the Judicial Academy, Thailand, Fiji with the Supreme Court, Hong Kong as well, Malaysia. So it's really been a good experience to train, because you meet different people and you learn and you share experiences. But really, ultimately, it's about the cases. Why? Well, you can tell from the stories I've told, it's about satisfaction when you see people sit together, talk, listen to each other, and resolve something and finding a mutually beneficial solution. Within their hands, they craft something and they live with it. So that's really something which I found meaningful. It's also, for me as a lawyer, it's using my legal skills for good purpose. I've been a litigator for 32 years. I'm a senior counsel, and I know what it's like in court. But usually in court, we don't always bring the best out of people. But in mediation, we do that. I think we really try to bring the best out of people. Well, if I were a businessman and if I had a dispute, I would want it to be resolved quickly and as cost-effective as possible. So, if it's an international dispute, usually parties will go for arbitration. And arbitration has its merits. But my question is, why not try mediation first? Because what have you got to lose? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, try to mediate, try to find a solution. If you do, you end the problem. You have finality, you have certainty. If you don't succeed, then you go on to arbitration. So for me, it's really what people say is a win-win outcome. Why not try mediation first? I like to listen first. For me, it's important for me to understand, to listen, to build trust, to build rapport with the parties. I try to facilitate. Sometimes if the parties ask, I don't mind in a private session to discuss, to do some reality testing. What are the merits of your case in terms of questions, in the way of questions. I wouldn't tell a party, you're right or you're wrong, but I think it's good to do some reality testing so that parties know where they stand. But we do this in a private session so that we can speak freely and we can be frank about things. So far, I think that's worked well. But generally, I facilitate and I don't impose. But I'm a determined person, so parties who've appeared before me will tell you that I will stick with you. My record For one-day mediation, my record is to end at 3 a.m. I'm known for that. But for me, it's not about the time, but it's really about sticking with the parties and trying your best. And that's my yardstick at the end of every mediation. Whether you succeed or not, for me, the important thing is that I've tried my best for you.